Greetings and salutations all. My name is REESE CRAWLEY. I am an amateur filmmaker and entertainment enthusiast. Today I have the absolute pleasure of shadowing one of the most determined people I know, Kelsey Lee. Kelsey and I met back in 2016 when she was dedicating all of her time and energy to growing her nonprofit SpinCo. Our work today has brought us to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. This massive city is home to some of the most historic buildings and well-renowned architects. Kelsey has made her home right in the center of this metropolis. And with that, let me introduce you to the star of the show, Kelsey Lee.
So we're just gonna go down one more floor. Okay.
Welcome home.
This is my home. I decorated it so I would be more inclined to work here.
Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, okay. My name is Kelsey Lee, and I am a licensed expediter for the city of Philadelphia. In layman's terms, basically, I am a government mediator. I'm like the bridge between the Department of Licensing and Inspections and the contractors, property owners, anyone who's trying to pull permits or do construction work in the real estate industry locally. I got ahead of the curve and I was able to figure out Eclipse, which is the fancy acronym for Electronic Commercial Licensing and Inspections and Permitting Software Enterprise. Because the government loves its acronyms. This became the only way to actually file permits or do any licensing. So while everyone was shut down, I needed to figure out a way that I could still do my job. So I learned how to use Eclipse inside and out. I battled through it. It was really difficult for a good 6 weeks of me trying to figure out how to use the software. It's not user-friendly. After I got, I want to say maybe like the 5th permit, I started getting really efficient with it. Now it kind of put me on the map. A lot of people are having issues with Eclipse now. So I've kind of positioned myself as the expert in online digital permit filing. I can work anywhere. That definitely is a convenience of being able to file online. However, some permits and issues with permits or licensing depending on the type and the particular subject of what I'm doing and what I'm being hired to do, is easier done in person. So while I'm here, basically you'll see like stuff like this. So this is a set of plans and building permit material that will be taken down to LNI in person for in-person submission. A lot of these guys already had permits printed, so the idea is that we're not going to try to create extra work. And also, building permits are a really long process. So this is like a complete submission. There's the application itself, the plans, the permit requirements, and my job is to make sure that it's all there. So there's like a whole laundry list of things. The city of Philadelphia, make sure that you check out, everything's up to code. So this is a compliance certificate. Essentially, this is like your energy check to make sure that you're within efficient regulation for energy consumption. And then you have design criteria. Hi, I'm the architect. I certify that, everything's in accordance to the ICC Energy Conservation Code. And then you have a streets plan and project review application. Basically, you have to get permission from everything. And if you're going to be doing work on a sidewalk, especially if it needs that extra space, which if you're working in the city, you're gonna take up space on the sidewalk. Especially if you have to have a dumpster, so you need a permit for that. You need a permit for everything. This is a zoning set. This is for zoning. Then over here, I made a cute little laundry basket of all the rest of the plans and everything. Just things that clients have given me, things that are still waiting. Plans take a lot of room, so I just kind of wanted to keep it in one little area. Lately, it's been a real pain working with the city because we're not like totally shut down anymore, but we still are. Getting appointments is something that's very difficult to do. And actually for a minute there, I was getting in 3 times a week, but I think they stopped it. I don't know what's going on, but I got some things to do and I have some people that I need to ask questions to. So I'm gonna go try to sneak into the municipal services building to see if I can get some answers. So that's what we're gonna do. That's gonna be our next step on our adventure today. This guy has a property that he's trying to sell in Germantown. The first floor is zoned as a hardware store, and they had gone for a change in use back in 2003. Now that the property is being sold, he needs to provide a certificate of occupancy. Something is wonky with the city record. What he had gotten approval for is not connecting. So we have to get the city's attention to reconnect what they need to do in their system so we can get a certificate of occupancy for him. I'm filing this application to request a review and have a project meeting about it. I think it'd be great if we could do this virtually, but we're gonna see what they say.
Okay, Kelsey, where are we off to now?
We are going to the municipal services building so I can show you guys where I spend most of my time talking to people and trying to get things done. Normally what happens is I'll bring a whole list of stuff with me, things that need to be cleared up. I'm gonna get my other real mask out of the car. I clearly am a little bit disheveled today.
Day has been quite a day, huh? Your elevators are quick.
One of the things that I really enjoy doing, I consult on demolition projects. I call it green demolition. The one deconstruction project I'm doing right now, essentially what I consult on is waste diversion tactics, specifically reusing intact building materials. So instead of completely demolishing everything, especially brick, it's very valuable. And you can get a substantial tax deduction for it, like this project, which I kind of want to take you to. This guy's getting like $1 million in tax deduction. Like, it's amazing. And he's doing good for the community. He's like putting a massive amount of bricks back into the community for reuse and community projects. It's pretty dope. And makes me feel good. Yeah, I just started on a project, and I have another one I'm working on now. So this is like my special unique offering that I do, which eventually I just want to do full time. But the permitting stuff is great because it helps me understand the regulations, and at the same time point out, you know, what needs to change. Oh, look at City Hall. This is the Municipal Services building. So that's where we're going. We're gonna go around the back. Front of MSB, so like when there were like all those riots going on, the Rizzo statue is actually right here in front of City Hall, and this is where all the protests happened. You couldn't even come down here for a few weeks. It was actually just not safe, especially at night, because people were really, really, really pissed off about it. They finally got them to remove the statue, which was a huge win.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's where it was. Right there. Okay, so this might not work, but we're gonna try. Woo! All right. Okay, so they totally would not let me in, and I honestly, like, I tried to get as much video as I could, but I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, and I was also honestly nervous because I really wanted to go down there and show you guys what I usually do and where I sit and where I wait, but clearly they wanted to demonstrate that this is a super secure building. And the best security guard ever. So now I gotta find REESE. I wish you came with me. It wasn't gonna work. I tried to say I had an appointment. And that's why I signed in, because I was really trying to go with that story. I was trying to get the footage. The security guard was like, dude, I totally know what you're doing, but like, I need to have a job tomorrow.
All right, Kelsey, where are we heading to now?
All right, so we're gonna jump in my car. I'm gonna take you to one of my demolition projects. This is an exciting project. It's an old dairy factory that they're repurposing all the brick from it because it's historic. They're making it into like a multi-family like apartment, which happens a lot.
With that, we made our way to North Philly, passing many different monuments and construction projects along the way.
And here we are at...
So we are here at one of my project sites. I usually don't go to project sites because I have a lot of work to do and this takes up a lot of time. However, I love working on demolition projects to repurpose the materials that we can save. There's an IRS program. It's a specific type of appraisal, personal property appraisal, and it's an IRS incentive that gives them a reason to adopt the method of deconstruction versus straight up demolition, which then just continues to contribute to the landfill. The owner of this property is getting up to $1 million in the form of a tax deduction. I'm the consultant on the project, and I'm going to be actually working with the local nonprofit organizations to repurpose a lot of this brick. So what I'll be doing is asking them, hey, you guys have any projects that you're doing? Could be a playground, could be, you know, fixing a wall. I just want to point out I'm not wearing the proper shoes to be going much further. I have work boots that are steel-toed for this kind of work. This will be sent to the scrapyard, most of the metal here, but this kind of stuff, intact, remove these bricks, clean them, palletize them, and we'll haul them to wherever the nonprofit wants us to haul it to. Look at all this debris. This is like lathe. Basically, no one can ever figure out what to do with this. This is like for carpeting. I was working with a craftsman and we repurposed these and made them into flower boxes. And there's a whole slew of it here.
So, Kelsey, I will ask you, as someone that works with contractors,
Yeah,
how do you feel about gentrification?
you're right. This owner is putting in brand new apartments. And you can see, like, here, there, like these are all abandoned buildings.
Now they're being remodeled.
Yeah. I see the new one right there?
Mm-hmm.
Like brand new. And you know, that's what happens is you increase the property value of all the neighboring properties when you start to develop a community. So there's a special incentive that property owners can file for an abatement, a tax abatement. So what that means for Philadelphia, it's like their special program. I do these applications, which is why I'm able to talk intelligently about this, because as soon as you get the building permit issued, you just take the building permit and you submit it with the abatement application. So that happens pretty much at the same time. The reason I bring that up is the abatement is to give you a tax break on the improvement value. So if you buy the property for $50,000, an abandoned building, you know, if you get it in a sheriff's sale or whatever, and you make it look nice, and now the house is worth, you know, $350,000. So yeah, you as the property owner, your contribution in increasing the property value, you don't have to pay taxes on for 10 years. Well, what if you own the property next door? You've lived there your whole life. The neighborhood is changing. Your property value goes up. The amount of taxes that you used to pay go up. So while it's important that, developers are helping a huge problem in removing blighted properties and abandoned buildings and, cleaning up the communities and making them nice to live in, but if you have been living there, the world is changing around you. You have construction going on. And not only that, but now you have to pay more in taxes every year. And it's just going to keep growing. So what do you think that does to people who have been established in these communities? They don't get to benefit at all from anything. All they're getting is more. They have to pay more, and they have to deal with noise. And when you're in an area and you have a building being built next to you, happens a lot. But I was in South Philly and in Point Breeze when all this was going on, and you know what? There would be parking wars, and I don't blame the neighbors for trying to, keep their space and be a little bit territorial. But it's such a mixed question, because this block will be different, absolutely, and I give it 2 years. This whole property, it's going to be a huge, ginormous apartment building. And there's a building. Actually, you want to go back here? I'll show you.
Oh, in the back here?
Mm-hmm. So, just so you know, this is completely illegal. You cannot leave an open hole in the earth.
It's a big hole too.
It's a big hole. You cannot leave this open like that. I mean, and half the fencing is down. This is such an issue. But this isn't even part of their property. This is a completely separate project. But you got kids playing on the street, and they don't even realize that, what this means.
Literally, their whole world is about to change around them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. So, how do I feel about gentrification? It's tricky. There's proven metrics, there's science behind, community neighborhood revitalization, the removal of abandoned buildings. But, you're always going to have people that try to take advantage of the system and will use it for their own gain. And that's what happened in South Philly in Point Breeze. You had one big developer that capitalized on the blighted neighborhoods and gave no regard to the people living there. And he blew up Point Breeze. And they didn't care that, there were 3 projects on one side street that was 100% quiet, a year ago. Having construction workers constantly blocking your parking, and it's just noisy, it's loud. And you know what? It's not the contractor's fault. At the end of the day, they're getting work, and at least the contractors that I work with are really honest and transparent. That's why I'm also really selective on the type of demolition projects that I work on. And I like the owner of this property. He does a lot of work, but he also has a really good team, really honest team, who's open to sustainability measures and keeping good faith with the community. So it's a weird balance. It really is. It's delicate, because you're not going to be able to change. But yeah, so that's my answer to a really long answer to, honestly, a very, very complicated question.
And that concludes our day. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks for that, Kelsey.